Hello everybody, so today we'll be installing the ultimate SAI N249 PCV and EVAP delete on the 1.8T Beetle. This delete has a lot of benefits such as weight reduction, reliability, and just getting rid of a bunch of unnecessary things. Really, you don't need these things unless you live in like California, and even then I'm not sure. SAI is completely redundant if you don't have a catalytic converter. EVAP, nobody cares about that. It's a race car. PCV, we're deleting the PCV and installing a catch can, which is a much better solution. And the N249, that just goes hand in hand with everything, and that's tied into the EVAP. This kit that we picked up, it's a very comprehensive kit. There's no directions that come with it, but I will leave a link in the description to the guide that I used and followed. It's a little bit different on the Beetle because everything's kind of crammed into that engine bay, and some of the locations are a little bit different, but the methodology is still the same. This kit comes with everything that we're going to be needing. There's a lot of parts, and it may look daunting to some, but overall it shouldn't be too difficult at all. But without any further ado, let's get to work. So one of the main reasons to do the secondary air injection delete is because look at all of the clutter on top of the engines. On other cars such as the Jetta and the Golf, a lot of this EVAP and secondary air injection stuff, it will be located down here, but because everything's kind of shoehorned into the Beetle engine bay, a lot of it's on top, like the vacuum reservoir. I believe on some cars it's located under the intake manifold. But yeah, once the delete is finished, this will be a lot less cluttered. Our first step is going to be removing the vacuum reservoir, which is this thing right here. So this just pulls out. Maybe not. So the vacuum reservoir is out. We'll go ahead and remove this entire bracket too, that the vacuum reservoir was on. So now the bracket is out. I'm gonna go ahead and remove this little bracket right here. This is for the secondary air injection pump and some of the hosing. This is a big mess. All right, so I disconnected the secondary air injection pump at the Combi valve now. Let's see if we can get this out anymore. Okay, that just broke. Next up, I'm gonna go ahead and remove the combination valve, which is this bad boy right here. And in order to do that, I need to remove this little coolant neck thing first. Before I actually start disconnecting anything down here, I'm gonna vent the coolant reservoir just so it doesn't explode. Vent it off a little bit of pressure. Just make sure that the system is not pressurized and preferably not hot. Go ahead and disconnect this coolant, I believe that's a coolant temperature sensor. Take a small flathead, pop this out a little bit, pull that out more. We're probably going to lose a little bit of coolant here, but that's okay. This should just wiggle up. There we go, that came out. Coolant spilling everywhere, but that's okay. A lot of coolant spilling out. Hell yeah. With the 3 bolts on this coolant tube taken out, this comes out of the way, and now we can get to the bolts on the Combi valve and take that out. With the 3 bolts and the 1 vacuum line cut on the Combi valve, the Combi valve is now out. We actually had a little bit of a vacuum leak on this. See, this line right here was completely split. So maybe once this delete is done, we will see higher amounts of boost. The first part from our kit that we're going to be installing is going to be this Combi valve block-off plate. This literally just goes and it fills the hole of the Combi valve left there. You can see in the block. We're just going to install that. Alright, so that block-off's installed, and now we can go ahead and reinstall this coolant neck. It's a good idea to make sure while you're doing this or before you put the coolant neck back in, that the surfaces are clean in between the block and the coolant neck, just so that there's no coolant leaks. Now we'll go ahead and replace this coolant temperature sensor and its little clip, and then plug it back in. Now that's in there good. Next up, I'm going to go ahead and start removing the intake manifold. To start with this, we're going to take this little plastic cover off. Just so we get to this bolt here. I do this bolt. That's possible to pull out.
No. Not the next one.
Get one out here too. Should be able to lift up on the injector rail now, like that, so that I can access the, I believe there's 8 Allen bolts and then 2 little nuts down there. So I'm going to take care of those now. Remove the intake manifold. Go ahead and take out the secondary air injection pump. So with the intake manifold off and the secondary air injection pump removed, we can start taking out the lines kind of down here that go up to the hockey puck on the turbo inlet tube and the breather on the valve cover. We're going to remove all of those down to the line that comes off of the oil cooler housing. Take this out. There we go. That line is off of the oil cooler piece. We're going to go ahead and now disconnect our diverter valve from the solenoid here. Go ahead and unplug this one. Disconnect our aftermarket boost gauge. Now this all just comes out. Take our line off of the fuel pressure regulator. The stock zip tied on soft line. While I'm in here, I'm going to replace my valve cover and coil packs. And there is the new valve cover and the red top coil packs, and you can see that we have these 2 disconnected wires here. Those are going to now be unused, so just tuck those out of the way. Now we'll go ahead and remove the hockey puck. That comes out, and this will no longer be used. That's actually where our catch can is going to attach to the intake. Next up, I connected this line down here to this right here, and then there's the little T here. So down here at this little T, I have this coming up, going into a baffled catch can, and then coming up along here, and you can see it goes where the hockey puck used to be. So now that we've deleted the PCV and installed a catch can, the secondary air injection, and the N249 valve, it's time to move on to the emissions, which the emissions on these are very simple. It's just a couple lines over here. So now for all the EVAP delete stuff, I'm going to start out over here by disconnecting this line, rubber line, from a hard line. Over here, we are going to disconnect this line and this line down here. Do not mess with the other 2 though. So with these 2 connected now, we can go ahead and remove these out of the way. So now this is connected to this. The only thing though is there is a little check valve in between the 2, so we have to remove that. With all of this hose removed, we're going to take one of the resistor packs that came with the kit and then plug it in to the little, where the little solenoid was. I'm just going to plug that in, and now hopefully we won't run a check engine light for that. So now with these EVAP ports and that port that goes to the turbo inlet, with those capped off, we can move on to reinstalling the intake manifold. You can see intake manifold's back on. We painted it black. All of the vacuum lines are hooked up. This is capped off over here. This is capped off over here. The charge piping is all connected. Everything's back in. Car runs great now. We're hitting the amount of boost that we should have been hitting before. We're hitting around 12 psi now. The car feels great. It smells a little bit strange now because the EVAP stuff's all deleted. We're running a bunch of check engine lights for the secondary air injection and EVAP, but that will all be tuned out when we get our tune. But this is what our engine bay looks like now. It is a huge difference than when we started. But yeah, this video was a lot of fun to make. There's something very cathartic about removing all of that unnecessary EVAP stuff and just tearing lines out. This video is pretty fun to make. Coming up shortly, there won't be a ton of videos on the new Beetle coming out because we are kind of nearing the end of the build. I know it's a project car, so a build never really ends, but there has been a lot of videos uploaded recently on the new Beetle, so expect a shift more towards the Ecotec Miata and the Mark 6 GTI in the coming weeks and months. Something worth mentioning is Maneki Performance merch is now available. A link to that will be down in the description. All of the proceeds generated by this will be going back into the channel and making videos for you guys. So it's going towards a noble cause. But yeah, I hope you all enjoyed the video. Be sure to like the video if you liked it, dislike it if you didn't, and if you're a first-time viewer, be sure to subscribe. Lots of new content coming up very shortly that you guys aren't going to want to miss. But yeah, until then, I will see you all next time.